How do you avoid cynicism? It's a very easy trap in the modern world.
This is the debate I was having with Peter Thiel earlier about stuff. He tells me I'm too naively optimistic, and he's like, you want to be kind of optimistic in general, but you don't want to be like overly so. And in general, I think it's easier to be pessimistic and cynical. I think it's like an easier thing to be. I think it's like you can just always say why things won't work, and it actually takes. It's a little bit of a challenge to say, okay, this is really broken. The system is really broken. Other people haven't been able to do it. How are we going to make it work despite that? It's kind of like being like the hero, warrior, champion to say, okay, even though this is a mess, what are we going to do to make it work? And that's it's a leadership quality that I think if you bias towards that it can be figured out, I've just found oftentimes things can be.
Have you ever read Endurance by Alfred Lansing? It's about Sir Ernest Shackleton's crossing of the Antarctic.
Oh, very cool.
Right? So it's the best, I think, the best retelling of that. And it's really interesting because all of the guys had their own individual journals or diaries that they were writing in. And what you hear from everybody else except for Shackleton is what Shackleton's saying. But what you read in Shackleton's diary is what Shackleton was thinking. And it's this really interesting dichotomy between what he says and how he needs to show up as a leader.
Yeah.
And what he's thinking privately. And it's almost like a Bruce Wayne Batman type split personality.
What was he thinking privately?
He is just swimming in self-doubt and uncertainty and fear. He has no idea if it's going to work. He doesn't even know if this is the right. But he goes out there and he needs to say to the guys, this is exactly the way that we're going to go, and we know that this is going to work, and we're getting such and such. And it was the first time that I'd ever really thought, because obviously the consequences are so dire, but it really made me think about, there are prices that leaders pay that nobody else pays, and that you can't share the burden of.